Oh, this is just bloopers all. Okay.
You can
And
then cut this.
yeah, cut the whole thing.
You were like, this was a mistake.
It's a mistake. Yo, welcome to the Elite Table Talk, where we unpack health professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just everyday people, and looking at their lifestyle, their mindset, their routines, and we see what they have done to help them move forward and really just get more time back in the day. You know, most people say there's 24 hours in the day, but there's really 16 because we sleep for 8. But how do we get the most of those 16? So grab a pen, get some paper, let's make some notes. Let's see what we can get from this episode today. Let's go. Yo, welcome to the Elite Table Talk podcast with myself and Petra. Now, who is Petra? Well, Petra worked with me, 6 years ago? And we've just stayed in touch. And long and behold, Petra was vegan. She looked into supplement products, scuba diving, yoga, and pretty much knew a lot about personal training, health and wellbeing, just didn't have a Cert 3, Cert 4. And I used to always joke about, hey, Petra, you should become a trainer. You know more than them. And she's like, maybe. And has now really explored the world. And we caught up and said, hey, let's do an episode of getting to know Petra. And we'll ask some questions. Some of them will be like, what's it like to work with Carl? We can skip on that one. And then really just to understand someone like yourself who went into the finance sector and then has decided to give up on the finance, the 9-to-5 job, and really just following the dream of scuba diving and really just enjoying life. So let's start from the top. How have you been?
Great. Well, diving, enjoying my life, not working in the office, which I hated. So
yeah, and a beach blonde now. Talk to us through the finance. So how did you start with finance or banking? Then you came to Australia for 6 months. You ended up staying for a few years, and then you went back into finance. And then, take us through the journey of Petra.
Okay. So, I started studying banking, finance, and investment at the uni in Slovakia. Well, my parents did the same, and after high school, I didn't really know what to do. So I guess I'm like, I'm taking the same path, and then, I'll decide on the way as I go. So I finished my bachelor, I started my master's, didn't really like it. So I moved to the UK, and I did my master degree there in banking and finance. Then I came back, and I was not like my father forced me, but we came to a mutual agreement that I should finish my master degree also in Slovakia in banking for a change. So I got my second degree. And then it was time to start working, but I'm like, no, I can't. So I went to Australia. And COVID happened. Then we met. So I loved it. And then anyway, my visa was going to expire, right? So I was like, all right, back to Slovakia, back to Europe, and finding a job in what I studied. So I did, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. So
prefer coffee.
So I quit. And while I was in the leaving period, I did my dive master. And then I came to Malta. I did my instructor, and I'm still here working as a scuba diving instructor or random. And becoming a yoga teacher. That's the newest addition to my portfolio.
And when did supplements become a thing? Because you were looking at opening a brand line, supplements?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's thanks to you, because I was really into it now, and with Vitruvian Health on top of the training. And I think that time I was your only vegan client, right? And yeah. And then also, so I started supplementing with you, and thanks to you, I learned a lot about it. And then when I came to Slovakia, I was obviously continuing supplementing. But then I found out that there was not enough vegan options, or if they weren't very environmentally friendly packed. So I wanted to do that, but I started diving instead. I mean, I can still do it eventually.
Dive into something else. Yeah.
Step by step,
Okay, so the supplement really just became a passion project that you found that a lot of the products didn't really weren't as environmentally friendly as people would believe to be. So you started looking at more eco-environmental options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there are also some downsides to that because then the product wouldn't last that long, and if there is a bit of moisture, if so obviously there is two sides of the coin, right, with everything. But yeah, but now I'm keep on going and I'm testing, and there are slightly different subs here than that I used to take home. So I'm testing it on myself.
Yeah, cool. What's a misconception that most people have with like vegan supplements?
Wait, now I'm not sure what do you mean by misconception.
Well, like you're talking about how a lot of vegan supplements, you think some aren't as eco-friendly, right? If I was to walk into the shops, grab it says vegan, I'm like, oh, cool, that must be good. And then I take it, it's actually not as friendly to my body as it could be. Like, what is that?
Well, I guess it also depends from where they get it, how they process it, right? And then because they have to change some of the parts of the product, like. And then also I think that us as vegans, I think people in general, they don't understand how connected all these subs are. So if you're taking one, but you're an omnivore and you eat everything, you might be as a vegan missing certain nutrition, like how they are, for example, like we can absorb it thanks to vitamin C, let's say, or some healthy oils. So I think that sometimes people just chuck it in and then it just goes through their body because they're missing something else.
Some supplements require fat soluble, so people don't eat fats. So then those supplements just don't get absorbed appropriately.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is banking life like? Just 9 to 5 or 9 to 4? Because the banks close at 4.
Well, no. Actually, I found my job still during COVID, kind of. So I was working from home, and in the company where I was, we had on the way work. So pretty much you could just log in, do what needs to be done, log off. So it wasn't that bad. I mean, the company is quite good. It just wasn't for me. And it was very back office job, maybe if I had something where I could interact with people more, I would enjoy it more. But this was just literally just sitting behind the screen, and it wasn't fulfilling me at all.
Wasn't fulfilling.
Which is fair enough. Everyone is different. Someone might love this kind of job, but you know me.
People aren't different. Everyone is exactly the same, Petra.
Boom, 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 boom. No. I need to talk to people. Not always, but.
If I gave a bit of an example of who Petra is, but how would you describe yourself to people?
I really liked, I remember the last time. So when I promoted myself at Vitruvian, was it like CGO? Chief Glitter Officer?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Chief Glitter Officer. So I think that doesn't mean anything else to add on.
A title is a title. You make it what you want. Yep.
I promote myself and then it's something ridiculous, but whatever.
Cool. So is that how you describe yourself still to this day? Chief Glitter Officer.
Yeah, less glitters this time. Divers don't really like them,
Well, you're the CDO, the Chief Diving Officer.
Actually, now I'm Deputy Director of Diving.
DDD?
Many Ds, yeah.
Too much D. Wow. Who would have thought? But okay. So to summarize, Petra, you are the Chief Glitter Officer and the operator of the DDD. Well, since you've picked up habits with us, I guess, what was it like meeting me?
First of all, when you hired me, I thought you were going to kill me. So that was a bit stressful.
You were under me from the get-go. Mm.
When you slammed the door, like, what are you doing?
Oh, fuck! Okay, so disclaimer, just so it's clear, when we interview people, we do batch interviews. So we get a group of people. Oh man, I was struggling with my time and I really needed someone to help me buy back my time. And so I was just like, I don't want to do 30 interviews. So I sent an email out to 30, I messaged 30 applicants, emailed them, said, meet us at 2:00 on, I think, Thursday.
No, Friday, because it was also the team development.
Yep, team development. So it was at 2:00. So we had a team of 7 trainers back then, and then they all showed up. I think 8 people showed up, and you had Petra, another lady who reached out to a few weeks ago. What is her name?
Not Sophia?
You had all the others arrive, and they all kind of came in drips and drabs. Like they came a minute, they came on time. They came 3 minutes late, 5 minutes late. And there was one I remember that came 15 minutes late. And I remember everyone just like, no. So we're doing the upskill. Some of them weren't getting it. Petra and a few others, trainers making notes. And then at the end of it, Petra had done a task, like they'd done some tasks for us before, but she hadn't finished her tasks. And so at the time, the other girl we were interested in hiring because she completed all her tasks and you hadn't. Not as well though. And we knew one task was going to actually take like a few days, but it was just to see how they had started. And Petra came up to me. She's like, hey, I'm really nervous. I was wondering if I could, chat to you after to get you to email me that document.
I wanted to the presentation. I wanted to email it to myself. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was pretty much dismissing the other 8 people that arrived late. I was like, look, it's not going to work. Gave them some feedback. In that time, Petra had spoken with one of our trainers, Sarah, because you're at the upstairs, and you just said, oh, can I grab Carl's laptop? I'll just send myself the document so he doesn't have to worry about it. And then 10 minutes later, I'm walking up the stairs and the trainer goes, just so you know, that girl has got your laptop to send, but I gave it to her, so it's okay. And walk off. And I'm like, what? And then Petra's in the back room. And back in the day, this used to be our office, like pitch black. And so, see this person in the corner, she's got a screen on her face. And I clicked, I'm like, oh, Petra's the person I want because obviously she takes the initiative. And then I walked into the office and grabbed the door. And that time, the door was really loud when it slammed. And we actually put buffers on it the next day. So when you shut it, it goes click. But I shut it lightly. He's, bang. What are you doing? Ooh, you're hired. You start tomorrow. Oh, sure.
Yeah, that was great.
So you thought I was going to kill you? Yep.
And then it was great because, sometimes I was stressed, obviously. And then sometimes I really didn't understand what you want from me. I'm like, I don't understand English. Then you were doing recordings for me, you remember? And I was listening to it and I was making notes.
I still have all the documents.
But then I remember when I was like, I'm just like admin assistant and like I want to be a manager. And then you're like, bring me your bio. No, in the gym, we all had our bios. And I'm like, okay. And I gave it to you and you ripped it apart. I'm like, am I fired again? Not again, but Sorry, it's something from here because now my boss is firing me every day, but just for fun. And so I'm like, what? Am I fired? And you're like, no, you're a manager now, so write a new bio. So that was great.
Just change the title, manager, and start to manage more things like the accounts. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that because you also were like, oh, I want to manage finances because I've done a degree in financing. I'm like, okay, manage our finances.
Say no more.
Yeah, okay, done. I want glitter, okay?
Yeah, so this was great because actually, I was always so shy of what I want. I'm like, if it's okay. And then you always came up with how to merge it and how everything can be possible. So that was great. Even when I wanted to travel and we just went randomly to Adelaide and then drove to Melbourne, trying not to fall asleep.
What Petra was saying is she hadn't really traveled Australia. I had an event in Melbourne, and so we got on a plane, went to Adelaide, hired a car, did a few trips around Adelaide, Couldn't find our parking space. So we parked in a national park. And then we got woken up at like 1 a.m. by like a bunch of kids on drugs. Oh my God, it's a car. Get out of the car. What are you doing? And they were like,
well, it was a camper van. Okay.
Yeah,
Just to make this clear. And it was freezing.
Which had sheets in it. And the guy's like, yeah, all your sheets in the car. No. One sheet is not enough.
Especially if one is sleeping on the top deck and the other one is sleeping on the bottom.
So literally we pulled all our clothes out of our bags and we're just like layers.
Oh, it was freezing.
And then we ended up driving. Petra's driving. Petra's driving like this. Petra, what are you doing? I'm trying to stay awake. Oh my God, stop the car.
It was because you were like, you know what's funny, Petra? I just noticed every time you scratch your face, you move in that direction. And I'm like, no, Carl, I'm opening my eyes. And then you were like, oh.
All over. Oh, fuck. So a few adventures, but what would be your 3 biggest highlights of working with us?
Well, it's difficult because now it's kind of, because, I learned a lot, which I would probably learn also if I'm training with you. But this was because I was working with you, I guess that it was even more than I would learn just by training.
Yeah.
Especially joining the team development and stuff. And before I had no idea about fitness. I mean, just the basics. But yeah, this was very, very deep, and it always include different topics. And yeah, the supplements I enjoyed the most, but everything was very interesting. So that was great. What was also amazing that, yeah, exactly. Everything what I told you, you just found a way how to work it around. So I remember I had Mondays off, for example, and was just working then. Then when I wanted to work more, I worked more. When I wanted to work less, I worked less. So I really loved that everything was possible with you, and also focusing on tasks.
Flexibility, education, possibilities.
And fun. Fun is a big thing. Oh, and grilled. Oh my God. You can't imagine how much I miss grilled.
Oh, grilled. Yes. Celebrating new team members. Every time we had someone go to grilled. Yes.
Oh, I'm getting hungry already. I just had breakfast, but a burger.
Hells yeah. Now we got a team where it's like, hey, let's go celebrate grilled. They're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, need to fix that. No. What were your 3 biggest training highlights?
Training highlights? Well, that the training always changed. So when I was started getting bored of it, it always changed. And then you were also asking me which exercises I do enjoy and which I don't. So then even when you were making the new plan, I could just, most of them were those which I really liked. Also, when you were explaining to me how and based on what you're building the training program, so you were like, okay, well, we need to start with this one. So then slowly you can build up to this one, and then your body will change in this way and this way. And so that was great. Even the check-ins, because it's like with the gratitude log, and the check-ins were the same. Like people were like, oh yeah, I went to the gym 3 times, 4 times, 5 times this week, and it was fine. But actually, if you don't think about it, and if you don't write down how it went and how you felt, and if some day was worse, and maybe why, because maybe you've eaten something. So it was really nice and interesting to reflect on that, and I think that really helped. And then I loved, but this was my advantage, that I was training always around you and also the other trainers and then the clients, and so it was like a very friendly environment, and I didn't feel awkward at any time. And even if I did some mistake, it was either you or some other trainer being like, no, Petra, the shoulders back, so I was getting adjusted. So
always had the support. What current routine do you have in the morning? So imagine, you picked up a few things from us, you're waking up, get hydrated, do steps. What is your routine now? What do you do at the moment when you wake up?
Lemon water, always. I added electrolytes back to my subs. I didn't take them for maybe a year, but now I restarted again, probably because the job which I do now is quite can be difficult, right, with carrying all the gear and stuff. So I felt like I always, felt like something.
Changes in pressure as
And
well. Yep.
electrolytes helped a lot. So now I'm back to that. But in the morning, I would take algae. So then the other subs I take in the afternoon just to be sure that the algae doesn't like absorb what I want to take from the other subs. Breakfast is a must because otherwise I would kill someone. But yeah, I start at 8. So, then I just go and prepare my gear and go diving. And then I do my steps in the afternoon after we're done. No, that's what I did with you as well. I was walking.
You used to walk from Rose
work.
Bay. Used to walk from Rose Bay to the gym, so you got most of your steps in the morning. At 6,000 steps.
No, sometimes but most often I think mostly I was walking from gym to Rosebery, and I would take a bus in the morning.
The truth is coming out now, eh? And what is your current nighttime routine?
Well, with that one, I'm not that as good as I was in Sydney. But usually I'm so exhausted I just pass out. I restarted reading actually, which is good. So I really enjoy my books. I don't watch any TV series, nothing like that, because I still believe that like the blue light, so I'm trying not to be on my phone before bed, not to watch TV, not laptop, nothing. I just have my ebook. Yeah, but I do the steps. Usually I have dinner at like 6, and then but by 9 I'm already in bed. I sleep a lot. But to be fair, the job can be difficult, especially if sometimes I have really great clients and they're like, let us help you. I'm like, okay. And sometimes they just watch me carrying their cylinders. I'm like, guys, I'm the smallest person here and I have to take all the cylinders. But hey ho, I'm getting strong.
Yeah. And do you train at all anymore?
No. But this changed when I came back to Slovakia. So, okay, I couldn't go to the gym because of COVID. And then even when they reopened, I went a few times, but people are judging a lot and they're not so friendly and they're showing off,
Let me
you
just
have those
roll my eyes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Excuses, Petra. Shut up. Build your own gym. No, but I did different stuff. So I started doing Krav Maga, then I did the aerial thing. Krav Maga. Yeah, it's a self-defense.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
It's
I can't
cool
even say it.
No, it's really cool because it's like fight from the short distance, and it's great even exactly as a self-defense, so they would teach you, like, if you're walking with your handbag and someone wants to grab it, they're like, our reaction would be to pull away from the thief, whereas you need to bring them closer and just kick their balls and run, so they're pretty much teaching you, changing your natural reflexes so you can actually defend yourself.
Okay. Do they teach you how to walk with a handbag?
Yeah, like this. Anyway, then I did the aerial acrobatics, it's called, on the sheet. So you just go. Yeah, that was really cool. And actually, I don't know if this is true. Maybe you can give me your opinion, because we had one, like a lecture when I was still working in the corporate. And he is a personal trainer in Slovakia and a nutritionist and stuff. So he was just like giving us some tips, how you can exercise while you're still sitting behind the desk. What fun. But anyway, he said that actually when you're doing exercises in which you are fighting gravity, so like a handstand or even like a pull-up, actually he said that this contributes to weight loss. And like you can lose weight quicker when you are practicing the exercises in which you are fighting the gravity, even the shoulder stand, for example. And I don't know, what do you think about it?
So by fighting gravity, you increase your ability to lose weight.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Says to Petra, who doesn't need to probably lose weight.
Well, I
And-
still love to eat a lot.
Yeah. You mean I can eat more food? Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're like sitting, let's say you burn a calorie a minute, but if you're standing, like just no, that's just dumb. Because like what do you mean? If you're fighting gravity, you're going to lose more weight. I'm sorry, but no. When you're sitting, you are fighting gravity. It's not like you're being crushed. Like you're fighting gravity the whole time. But however, I will say, to give this guy justice is to say, well, like if you stand upright, you're using more muscles than you are sitting down. If you're doing a pull up or a handstand, you're using more muscles compared to if you're sitting down. So comparatively, you would burn more calories in a day, which would lead to more weight loss in the same calorie. Like if you're eating 1,000 calories on average and sitting burns 1,000, but standing burns 2,000 and doing pull-ups and handstands burns 3,000, then yeah, there's a greater deficit. But no, you're fighting gravity all the time, except for when you're
No,
in bed.
but I mean, to be fair, it's fun being upside down, so I don't really mind it.
This is probably why you're not in finance anymore, because you're just upside down in a handstand, typing away with your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there's no training. There's some interesting lecturers. And how do you balance? So it sounds like you're really just living a bit of a nomad life where you're not much technology. You're surfing, enjoying yourself, eating, sleeping. Is that it?
Actually, now that you said it, I'm like, because even I came here last year and I'm like, well, I'm going to do it for a couple of months, because I always wanted to try it. I'm like, wait, no, I didn't want to try it. I wanted to do it for a certain period of time. Sorry.
Did you remember that? Okay. Cold
Block. Anyway, so yeah, and it extended. So I'm still here, but yeah, I can still, like, I guess that I'm not going to do this for the rest of the life. Let me put it in this way.
What?
Yeah, and I still have my degrees and I still have my experiences, so when I'm ready. But now the summer's starting, so I'm just going with the flow and I'm still enjoying it, still fun.
It's good. What's it like diving? Like, as weird as that sounds, like it's a 2-day course, isn't it? Or a 1-day course? Put the scuba gear on, dive in the water. Now I can start diving.
No, so there are several options. So if you've never done it before, there is a try dive when there is a little like a lecture before where I explain the basics, I explain the gear, and we also have to do a few skills under the water. So we practice them on the surface. Then we give you the gear and we go down, we do the skills and we go for a little dive. But this one is, it's limited. It's either 6 or 12 meters. But it's just to see if it's actually something for you or not, because if you can't even flood your mask, then you will be struggling a lot with diving, right? So this is just water near my face, and I'm like, yeah, we're under the water.
The skin's not waterproof.
Oh my god. So yeah, so this is what you should be comfortable with. I mean, it doesn't come like this. You can practice, obviously, and then it's much easier. But boom, diver.
Yeah, I'm built for land.
And then there is the first course, which is open water, and that one can be done in 2-3 days. So we just need to do some confined water, open water skills, and 4 dives, and then you can dive up to 18 or 20 meters. And then you have advanced or you have specialties, and then you have rescue, and then you can become professional as a dive master, and then you have instructor, and then you have instructor trainer, and all that. You're climbing the ladder.
And what level? How many levels are there on the instructor ladder?
Because after instructor, I think you can then become instructor trainer. But then it's divided also. You have recreational diving and technical diving. And that's where it gets just even more complicated, So the spider is spreading, the spider web net is spreading. So yeah.
Where
And
are
then
you?
even with now I did my first technical course because my boss is a mostly technical diver. So I would do the recre stuff and he does the technical stuff. So yeah, so I started doing the technical diving with him, which is very heavy to carry because I have 2 of the cylinders at the back and then the third one in the hand. Right, when I'm in the water, walking like this, almost like with a handbag. Probably that's why.
Again, fighting people as you walk down, kicking people in the nuts.
Yeah. But then you can go deeper and you can have a different, like you're on nitrox, so you either increase the level of oxygen in the air you're breathing, so you have less nitrogen, or then those who go even deeper, they add helium, which is then trimix course, and then they do like deep 50, deep 60, and they can go really deep, but then it takes ages to get out.
They add helium?
Yeah. Because it's the only gas which doesn't make you narcotic under the pressure. So as you go deeper, the pressure increases and the partial pressure of each gas increases on your body. So, and you have slow and fast tissues, and each tissue is absorbing the gases in a different level. So that's why all the calculations and planning and yeah. And if they go like below 50, I don't want to say something that is not true. So now I'm being very careful. But yeah, if they're doing deeper dives and want to stay there longer, then they add helium.
Yeah, wow. What got you into diving to begin with?
My mom.
She made me do it.
Yeah, actually it was something very like that. We were in Egypt and she went for a dive and I was just on the boat, and then they were coming back and they were doing their safety stop. And then the instructor was just like, come down, because I was snorkeling on top of them. And, I would like kind of free dive with the snorkel since I could swim. So he's like, come here. I'm like, okay. And he gave me his second regulator and I was there with them. And they're like, okay, I think she can dive. And then I did my junior open water when I was 10.
And how often do you have to dive to like keep your status as a diver? So like if you stop diving today, and you just sat at a desk, you were upside down in a handstand typing your documents. How long?
Losing weight, all right.
Yeah. Look, as long as you've lost weight, can you keep your diving cert? If you put on weight, it's game over.
No. So the certification is forever. It lasts forever. But then if you didn't dive for like a year or half year, depends on the country regulation and even the dive center, you should do a refresher. So when you do a refresher, you just set up the gear, the instructor can help you, they'll take you down, you do some skills again, and do the first dive as part of the refresher. So you remember how to do everything. Yeah, we don't kick them down to 40 meters, after they haven't done anything regarding diving for 15 years. Like, yeah, there you go, ciao.
Just don't kick them, just guide them.
Boom.
And how often do you need to do training and upskilling to stay like relevant, or is it just similar and the same?
I mean, there are several agencies, right? So, and each agency, if there is some change in the standards or some news, they're sending regular emails, but it's not like you need to upgrade it or update it. Then you can do more cert, and even I can become instructor of more specialties, for example. So, and then you can also choose if you want to go the recre part or the technical part, or maybe the like more rescue and oxygen administrator. I mean, we all are, but more into those. Or a free diver. Now free diving is becoming a big thing, and I told my boss, I'm like, Joe, I think I want to become a free diving instructor. He's like, and can you free dive? I'm like, no, but I can fix that. I can learn.
What do you mean free dive? Just one breath, go underwater?
Go down. Yeah.
How deep?
Ooh, they're crazy. Like there's a world record and they go just super, super deep.
How How do they manage that without the oxygen tanks, like with pressure building up?
Well, it's loads of breathing exercises, obviously. And then as you go down and the pressure is higher, well, they're not breathing anything, so their tissues are not absorbing anything, right? They just go down, 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 down. And because of the pressure, the lungs are compressing kind of. And then when they decide to turn and they go up, because the pressure gets lower and lower, the lungs are expanding. And I like that's what keeps them going, you know? But it
Oh,
takes loads of practice and focus for sure. And because even I don't know I almost said the T word again. when you do it when you do it, even like when you go to the beach, like, and then the feeling like when you really are grasping for the breath and you really want to take a deep breath. So I think you have to take that out of your mind, this feeling, because it just frustrates you. You must be like, okay, I'm going down and then I'm going up.
yeah, I hate suffocating. Sucks. Get it out of your head, Carl.
Exactly. Don't be,
Don't be a beach. But I'm at the beach. Well,
you can be whatever you want then.
interesting. Okay, and how do you plan to become a free diver? Just start diving?
Well, I'll probably have to find an instructor first and learn how to do it. But now I'm focused on the yoga thing. So this was just like, every time I read about something, that's my problem, I think. I get excited very easily. So I read about something, I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. I really want to do this. And then I start, and then maybe like even halfway through, I'm like, it's actually not that cool as I thought. But yeah, it's also finding the time for it. So now I'm, especially with the season, starting, we'll be probably working from 8 till like 6. So you don't have that much time left in a day. So that's why I want to finish the yoga first as soon as possible. And then maybe just stick to yoga. And actually the yoga will help me with breathing and practicing. So, and then I can even apply this to perhaps teaching freediving one day.
Training also helps with your cardiovascular. Also works the calves.
Unless you're in a handstand.
Well, you can point your toes. That'll work your calves, because squeeze them.
Maybe if you're in a really small room, or if you have a roof like this and you can like that, then you can be pushing the ceiling with your...
Yeah, but then you're not fighting gravity as much, so you won't lose as much weight.
But you're upside down, that counts. If you're upside down...
If you're pushing against the roof, you're making it easier. So the fighting of gravity is not as hard.
But maybe his point was to be upside down.
Maybe his point's just to not sit at your desk all day so you can lose more weight.
Yeah. Just quit your job and you'll lose weight. That's what he said, basically.
Just work with me. But I need to have a job to pay you. Nah.
You'll be fine. Don't you have a saving?
What are 3 highlights of working in the dive center?
Diving.
Free diving.
Yeah.
Diving deeper than 10 meters. Feeling my lungs compress and then expand.
Getting paid for diving, not the other way around.
Helping people dive.
And it's great fun as well. No, it's really great fun.
Being
and
the
also,
do.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I told you already, I always see some similarities between you and Joe. So even I'm like, I want to do this. And he's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, Okay. So even we had a meeting with the accountants and stuff, and I'm like, actually, I can do this. All right.
You should go buy a gun or have a knife, and you'd be like, Joe, we should kill them. And you'd be like, Halloween, dress up. Those don't know, Petra dresses up really well for Halloween, makeup, the whole shebang. It's like a full 48-hour thing, getting prepped. But you should full dress up, fake knife in your head, blood, and then just make a joke to him and wait for him to turn around and be like, you always say yes.
You said I can do whatever I want. Creepy. Oh, and you know what? We have a guy. Okay, this is a bit irrelevant, so sorry, maybe I'll just kill some time. But I thought about you the other day, because you remember once when we went to Sutherland to the bank, and there was this huge old creep. And we have someone similar because we are, yeah, exactly. Because we are part of a water polo club. So there is a pool, restaurant, and a bar at the end, and we are on the other end. And there is this guy who, I don't know if he's a member or if he knows the owner or something, but he's just always there, getting kind of way too much undressed. And also, like, even if I just walk to the bathroom, you just feel that someone's staring at you in that disgusting way, like the guy in Sutherland. I always think like, oh God, I should make a video and send it to you, because it's exactly the same thing. But with the difference is he's there every day.
So the disclaimer for this is, it's not that I remember Petra of this guy. It's that we were going to Sutherland on a train. I'm going to give context because people will be like, yeah, Carl.
What?
So we were learning about sales and calls, and whenever you get that gut feeling like, ugh, then you're probably right. Let me explain. There are two real types of people, like full spectrum. You've got people that you want to work with, you want to train, you want to look after them. They're awesome people. And then you got those creepy old guys. There's probably creepy old ladies too, but creepy old guys. Petra's like, creepy old guys? I'm like, the guy that like wants to like lightly touches your leg and he's like, how you doing, love? You want to go on a date? And Petra's like, there's no one like that. Why would you say that? And I'm
People
like,
are nice, Carl.
Yeah, guys are nice to me. I'm like, Petra, oh, that. Trust me, Petra. There are people out there like that. And Petra's like, no. And we go to the bank, and we've got a big box of donuts for the team up skill, and we're at the bank, and Petra's there to bank the money. Petra's standing next to me, and there's this elderly guy sitting down, and there's a banker, and she's come back from a lunch break, and she just power walks to the door, and he hears, "Excuse me, miss." Gets to the door, and we watch her go, "Yes, sir." He's like, "I've been waiting for you. You're my favorite." And she's like, you can see this woman's just like, "Oh, yes, sir. I totally understand. Thank you so much." And it continues for a little bit and then turns to Petra and is like, "Oh, aren't you a doll?" And Petra's like,
I think I ran outside, no?
"Yeah, you give me the donuts." You go, "Here you go. I'll be back in a minute." I'm like, "Huh, I'd like to pay this money, please." It's not that I'm the creepy guy. I may have my moments, but it's that this story.
Yeah, there's a story. There's a story behind everything. And it's great now because, like, I was working for you for a year, but so many memories, and like almost every day I'm like, and I just think of the period, and I'm like, something like this happened, or like, Carl would laugh, or so.
Always.
Yeah.
And those are moments with Petra. Tune into the next episode where we do a power round of top 50 questions, and let's see how we go. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into that episode. Hope you really enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also to share so we can help more people. Now, with your pen, you've probably written down heaps of things, but the things like myself, like there's blank pages, but pages, got lots of notes. What are the top 3 that you got out of today's episode? If 3 is too much, action on one thing and just see how it goes for you for this week, and make amendments and adjustments so you're constantly improving and refining and moving forward in your health, your training, your life. If you ever get stuck, reach out to us at info@vitruvianhealth.com.au. Always here to help. Till next time, adios amigos.